Beginning June 22nd, they are going to start allowing people to make reservations to go into the theme parks when they open in July. July 11th for Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and the 15th for Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. So we have all this information right now on the homepage of the Diz, wdwinfo.com, but I'm going to kind of recap it here, and then we'll chat a little bit about it. We'll take a few questions as well. We do have shows we got to record, so this is not going to be like a 2-hour live feed. Obviously, Disney is doing this because they need to manage the attendance numbers in the parks, and this is the only way that they are going to be able to do that. First, in order to make one of these reservations, you will need to have a My Disney Experience account, and you will have to have some kind of ticket media attached to that. You also, if you have a Disney hotel reservation, you're going to need to have that linked to your account as well. Once you've logged into My Disney Experience, you'll have access to a calendar of available reservation dates for each theme park. If you have a multi-day ticket, you will be required to make park reservations for each day of your visit. Family and friends can link their tickets together and look to arrange theme park entries at the same time. You know, I'm reading this, and it's just a continuation of everything that has been running through my head since March. WTF, right? Like, I can't believe this is a thing, but it is. I'm not saying it's like bad. It's what they have to do, but it's still just like, oh my God. It is important to note that park reservations are limited in number and availability. Availability can change, and I find it very interesting they've added this line in there. Availability can change until the reservation is finalized. So if you begin the process of making a reservation, by the time you finish making that process, there may be no availability. That's how limited this is going to be. In the beginning of this process, you are only going to be able to select one park per day, no park hopping, something that was rumored, but now we have it official that for the time being, probably not going to be permanent, but for right now, in order to control the crowds and control what's going on, you can only make a reservation for one park per day. Guests with existing tickets that include Park Hopper options or Park Hopper Plus options have options available to them for ticket modifications and cancellations, and can visit disneyworld.com/updates for more information on that. Disney is stating they hope to bring back the ability to visit more than one park per day soon, and will continue to offer those add-ons for 2021 purchases. Now, beginning this week, if you already have a ticket or an annual pass, Disney's going to be reaching out to let those folks start checking availability. And then I think it's going to be Disney Resort guests. People with resort reservations are going to have first crack. Resort reservations and active tickets, they're going to have first crack. Then they're moving to annual pass holders and existing ticket holders, and then on to everybody else. By June 28th, this was good news, all guests will be able to purchase new Disney Resort hotel packages and theme park tickets and make reservations for arrivals starting in 2021 as the phased reopening of the theme parks and resort hotels continues. Now, what they're not telling us here is on June 28th, what hotels you're going to be able to book. They are not, to the best of my knowledge, right now the only hotels that are going to be open, for the time being anyway, are the DVC properties and Fort Wilderness. So I don't know if on the 28th we're going to see, okay, you know what, we're opening up Caribbean Beach, or we're opening up, whatever. We know some hotels are going to be offline. because of the NBA. We know that Yacht Club,
Grand Floridian,
and Grandestino are going to be offline because the NBA apparently that's where they're housing them to do their games. Here. Now, as far as the rest of the resorts, and I want to know, like, apparently, because I know nothing about basketball, okay, not a thing. But there's, I was reading that it depends on where they are in the rankings, is what hotel they're putting them in.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. I'm not sure what's worse.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure what's worse. Like, Grandestino or Yacht Club? What were you going to say, Paul?
No, yeah, I was just going to agree with you. So they ordered them, I believe, in the order of the top teams are going into Grandestino, and then the next tier of teams into Grand Floridian, and the last into Yacht Club. So,
okay, well, that says a lot.
That
says a lot about what Disney thinks of the Grand Floridian. Okay, that Grand Floridian isn't the top tier for teams; it's the second tier.
That's so funny.
That just warms my heart, to be honest with you. But and I also wonder how it's going to work with the villas being open. And are they putting the NBA teams in the villas, or are they putting them in the hotel itself? Do we know?
I think we believe it's the hotel itself. There's been no indication that the villas are going to be closed. So it's going to be an interesting environment. There's already questions about, are the pools going to be available? What's going to be available in Grand Floridian since they are housing the teams there?
Yeah, it's... I am very excited, though, that June 28th we'll be able to start booking, obviously, from the standpoint of Dreams Unlimited. Very exciting that June 28th we'll be able to begin booking resort reservations again, although they were very specific in the announcement. And again, I don't know if I'm just, reading too much into this. New Disney Resort Hotel packages and theme park tickets on sale for arrivals 2021. Does that mean they're doing away with room only for now? Does anybody think that's going to happen? Crickets. And then they're saying later this summer, based on availability, sales of 2020 tickets and Disney Resort Hotel arrivals will resume. So apparently, they're just going to open up package, because they're saying June 28th, packages and theme park tickets for sale for arrivals in 2021. So this is for next year. Now, I am assuming, I could be wrong, I don't know, but they're not specifying that October of 2021, the fall of 2021, is not going to be included in this. So that's where the internet is going to break for Disney fans. I mean, especially right now. If they open up October 2021 on the 28th, anybody that has to work on the internet might as well just take the day off, because the internet will not work. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, October 1st, 2021, the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. It is something that all Disney fans have been foaming at the mouth about for a couple of years now. Yeah. And this is the number one question we get: when can I book 2021 for the 50th anniversary? So, June 28th. But they're not going to open up reservations at the Walt Disney World Resort hotels until later in the summer for 2020. So, do we think... God almighty, I mean, I do this for a living and I'm confused. I understand it. I'm not criticizing them, really and truly. This is so... I hate to keep using the word unprecedented, but it's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. And I think they have to see. Everybody's like, oh, well, Universal didn't do this. Universal gets a fraction of the people into their theme parks and hotels that Disney World gets. It's a lot bigger, a lot more moving pieces. So, I think. Oh wait, I'm being incoming. Hold on.
And I mean, this I'm still trying to process this news as well.
Okay, hold on, John. I'm being told by Elaine Edwards, one of our Dreams agents, that what will open up on June 28th will be bookings through September 26th, 2021 only. No 50th bookings yet. So there's that. So you will be able on June 28th to start booking packages for 2021 through September 26th. And then later this summer, you'll be able to book packages for arrivals in 2020. I think right now they're just going to keep everything very close to the vest while they see how this all plays out. And that's how this reads to me. I think that's how it would read to anybody, but I'm slower than most, so it takes me a few minutes to catch up.
But yeah, I was saying I'm still trying to process this information as well. I was actually over here. We were about to do DVC shows when this news broke. But I mean, to compare Disney to Universal, I mean, I think Disney's really just trying to do their best to wiggle their way into this situation as safely as possible. And this is going to be an entirely new way to handle things that nobody's ever really expected we'd have to do, or and everybody's kind of just learning as they go. So I think the bubble of restriction that's coming, that we're going to be seeing, that's going to stagger through, I think it's just Disney slowly finding their way into a comfortable position.
Yeah, but let's also talk about something else here. A new version of the My Disney Experience app is being released that will bring key features of Magic Band to your phone. As a result, they are doing away with the free Magic Bands that you get when you make a reservation. You will still be able to purchase discounted Disney Resort hotel guests will be able to purchase Magic Bands at a discount. And as more colors and designs featuring favorite Disney characters will continue to be introduced in the future, guests who prefer not to purchase a discounted Magic Band will be able to use the My Disney Experience app or Key to the World card during their visit. Now, originally I'm thinking, okay, well, they're trying to literally eliminate as many touch points as possible, even with the Magic Bands. This is a money-saving thing. It's cheaper for them to give you a Key to the World card than it is to give you a Magic Band. So, anybody else excited about Key to the World card being a thing again? I mean, I miss them. I mean, I like the Magic Bands, all right. It's fine, whatever, but
It's basically just a key, the plastic card you hold up to the gate and walk in, or to your room and walk in.
I'll tell you, as far as using the phone to unlock your room and stuff like that, that's worked for me pretty good.
Yeah.
That's worked pretty good for me. But now we're talking about moving more technology onto the My Disney Experience app when we're how many years into this thing now and it still doesn't work right. So you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to run into Disney's warm embrace where the My Disney Experience app is concerned. I don't think many of us are. Paul, what do you think about this? What's your take on all this?
Just to finish what you were just talking about, I alluded to this earlier today, but I've been surprised that we've never seen a partnership between Apple and Disney related to utilizing Apple Watches for these sort of functions throughout the park. So I'm wondering if in the near future we may sort of see that integrated more. I'm happy with the reservation system so far. I think it's fair. I think it's a good balance of things. The one lingering question in my mind, since I'm an annual pass holder that does have to go down there to vacation, I'm wondering where the annual pass holder limits are going to be in terms of how many days can we book consecutively, or how many in a month. I know there was a rumor that I read somewhere the other day that regarding cancellations, it's almost going to work somewhere like a dining reservation, where if you would no-show your reservation, they are going to limit the amount of booking availability that you have for the future, which I think that's fair.
Totally fair.
That's perfectly acceptable. So that's the only lingering question in my mind, is just knowing that those of us that are DVC members that have annual passes, are they going to allow us to book for our entire stay that we have scheduled? Or are we going to fall under those annual pass holder limitations that may be a little bit more strict? I don't know.
Well, one of the other things that obviously has been on everybody's mind, all annual pass holders, I'll qualify that now, and again, not coming down on Disney yet, but those of us that purchase annual pass holders that do not, or annual passes that do not have blockout dates, what happens now that we're, if we're limited in using that pass? I know that they have been, for the closure, they have been either, extending people's renewal dates and things like that. But, now once the parks are open, I'm holding a pass that allows me access, when I bought it, to 365 days a year. But now, if I can't get a reservation on the day I want to go, how is that going to impact? How is that going to impact pass holders?
Well, I think maybe a good example would be like the Galaxy's Edge, the reservation system, and it was based on first come first serve. So maybe they don't. It's everyone has an equal chance, and if you can make that reservation prior to them selling out of those that day, then hopefully you'd be able to get in without a problem. And again, first come first serve. I would hope that's the way it works.
I think they're going to have to give some priority. And again, there are questions about this. I think in this opening round, they are giving priority to resort guests with ticket media. But there's no word on whether or not that's going to continue. I don't know how Disney's going to navigate doing this with resort guests if resort guests don't have a priority to get into the parks. And again, they haven't made any announcements about that. So I don't want to go too far down the speculation hole. But
I also wonder, if you had every single room occupied on Disney property, what is that based on capacity into the parks? If all those people had the priority and the capacity of the park is 100,000 people and there's only 40,000 that can fill up their resorts, is there enough space for their resort guests that they're eliminating anyone outside of the resort? You know what I mean? I wonder what the capacity versus of the theme park, to how many they're going to let in versus how many rooms there are sold. Again, I don't think that.
Yeah,
question
and I don't have the. There was a time where I did have capacity numbers of the resorts and the parks committed to memory. That was several drug-addled years ago. So I don't now. But one question. How do those of us who have room-only reservations get park tickets for this year still without having to buy an AP? They are going to open up ticket sales on June 28th. That's for 2021. So later this summer, they are opening up tickets for 2020. So right now, if you have a room-only reservation, that's a really good question, though. Let's say you already have a room-only reservation but haven't bought your ticket. Disney's going to have to do something about that, so I don't really have an answer to that question. But let's say you have a reservation already on the books for August, and you don't have your tickets yet. What's Disney going to do? They're going to have to let you buy a ticket. They're going to have to. But in this announcement, I'm not seeing that. Mary Van Buren, what if you have multiple hotel bookings with active annual passes? Can you reserve park days for all your trip? Now you're just pissing me off, Mary. Who the hell knows? Honest to God, I don't know. If you're talking about you have multiple room booking. I mean, you can't have the same name on multiple rooms. So I would imagine if you've booked multiple rooms, that it's going to be based on the names that are attached to that room and the media attached. That's the other thing that we're hearing, very, very, very important, that everybody in your traveling party have a My Disney Experience account. That's how the reservations are going to be linked. So the days of mom being the one with the My Disney Experience account are over, at least for now. Everyone must have a My Disney Experience account. Their tickets must be linked to that. So should their and so do the resort stays need to be linked to that. So,
So you need a smartphone?
Or a computer. I mean, you can do My Disney Experience on a desktop or laptop, or whatever, iPad. So you don't need the phone necessarily. It makes it easier, but
can we still ask for refunds on the remainder of our APs? You can ask for whatever you like, Trey. You can ask for whatever you like. Whether or not they're going to give it to you, I don't know. I don't know how they're handling that right now, to be honest with you. I really don't.
I will say I just checked this morning, and my annual passes that were supposed to expire in October, I saw got pushed up to the middle of February, so that was pretty exciting to see.
I'm sorry, say that again?
My annual passes were supposed to expire in October, and I just checked this morning, and it got pushed up to the middle of February. So
have you been continuing payments with your annual pass, or did they stop that and then
I don't pay month by month. I pay all up front. And
I see.
Yeah.
That happened to mine as well.
I'm sorry, Paul, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that happened to my annual passes as well. Those were extended earlier this week. And then also date-specific tickets, I believe, have also been extended into September of 2021.
Any word on being able to add days to an existing multi-day ticket to make up for not getting or forgetting a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party cancellation? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it should be a surprise to anybody. That they canceled Mickey's Not So Scary. They haven't announced what they're doing with Christmas Party, but I think you should all gird your loins that they're going to cancel the Christmas parties as well. I was surprised about the announcement of Food and Wine.
Yeah.
July 15th, when Epcot opens, starts Food and Wine. Now, normally we would, we'd be like, oh, dear God, really? Oh, thank God. That's how reacting to that. I reacted to that. I'm like, oh, thank God. Something, right? Something. But again, you know what? So much of how this is going to work is going to depend on us. It is going to depend on us. If we want this to be successful, if we want to get back to some semblance of normalcy with these parks, this is going to depend on how we behave when we get in the parks. If you're the no mask person, don't come. As of Saturday night at midnight, Orange County is now requiring masks to be worn in public. And I really, truly hope they enforce it. I hope Disney enforces it. Because I'm telling you right now, I walk into Publix, the only people wearing masks are the people who work there. Everybody's walking around without a mask. And then we wonder, why are our COVID cases spiking? I can't tell you. Why would that happen? So it's going to depend on us. Social distancing, following the guidelines and the rules as they are outlined in the parks. Remember, this is private property. Your constitutional rights don't extend there. Your right of expression does not extend there. Disney can tell you whatever they want to allow you access onto their property, the way you can tell people what they can and can't do on your property. It's the same thing. So how we behave is going to determine how this goes. Because Disney has shown they are not going to mess around when it comes to public health and safety of guests and cast members. They're not going to mess around. And so, all the Karens out there that think they're going to show up and get free stuff because they don't want to wear a mask, or they should get discounts because they're being made to wear a mask. Disney should put me in charge of that. Just put me in charge of that, please.
And the thing about that Halloween party cancellation, I think we'll still see some sort of way that they're going to celebrate Halloween around the parks. I think you're still going to see some festive things, but they can't really sell tickets. Like if they're saying we can't support the parade, we can't support the stage show, then they can't sell the tickets. So I mean, I think ultimately they are. That's another thing. They're kind of looking out for us.
And again, this is why, look, no one is ever going to accuse me of being a Disney apologist. Anybody that's watched any of my shows over the last 20 minutes can figure that out. But it's also important to be fair when they do well and they do right. And here is this multinational conglomerate, this multi-billion-dollar company, making decisions to lose money in the interest of public health. They must be celebrated for that. And it must be recognized, and it must be remembered. It has changed a lot of things in my mind about Disney. I will be honest with you. It really has. It's gone a long way with me. It's incredibly responsible in a world that isn't always. It's incredibly responsible. They are doing their very best here. I think this is the best they could have announced is what was put out here in terms of the untenable situation that they're facing right now. So I'm going to take a couple more questions, and then I've got stuff. I got stuff to do. I love you guys, but I got to do shows. Because if we don't, then you get pissed off about that. What happens if you leave a park? Will you be allowed re-entry? I would imagine you will be if you have a reservation for that day. That's my guess. But, it's a wonderful question. Don't know the answer. I'm on the resort reservation. My wife is not. We both have tickets. Can she make park reservations? Put her on the reservation. Make sure everybody in your party has their names on the reservation, because I think they are going to be limiting. This is one of the things, because, I'm going to be on site 22nd and 23rd, Monday and Tuesday, when they reopen the resorts. I've made sure everybody in my party, their name is on that reservation, because I think they're going to restrict people from even coming into the resorts if they don't have a reservation there.
Yeah.
They're part of what they're going to have to do. I don't think this is going to be forever, but it's certainly going to be for now, and I think it's going to be like this the rest of the year. I don't think we're going to get back to seeing anything that even approaches normal until next year, until there's a vaccine. Or until they can mitigate the virus to the point of being more of an inconvenience than a potential death sentence. So I'll take one more questions. Any thoughts on when Pop Century and Art of Animation will open? You want to know what I really think? I think very few resorts other than the DVC resorts are going to be open before the end of the year. That's what I think. I don't have any information to support that. I have no rumors to support that. It's just my gut. But my gut also said they were going to reopen the parks on June 1st. And I was wrong. So, but if you want, I think they're going to see how this opening goes, right? I think they're going to see how this plays out. They're going to gauge what the interest is. Okay, if they're turning people away from resorts and stuff like that, they're going to gauge where the interest is, see how this goes, say, okay, maybe we can allow X number more in the park. I think the original, for the opening dates in July, very few people are going to be allowed in the park. They're gonna want to gauge. They're gonna want to gauge how this is working. Paul, you got your hand up.
To your point, we learned this week about Jumbo House being closed for the initial reopening, and the wording there was more than just the initial resort reopening. They made some allusion there to the fact that they are not going to really reopen that until they see the booking demands requiring them to move people into that resort. So I think we're seeing the writing on the wall there with what you're saying about certain resorts remaining closed.
Okay, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to preface it by saying, obviously, I have a vested interest with being an owner in Dreams Unlimited Travel, but I think some of us, I think it's easier for DVC folks to do this than it is for non-DVC folks. But I wonder if we're not going to see a trend toward resort-only vacations. I wonder if we're not going to see things. I mean, if Disney's smart, they'll start creating opportunities outside the parks that would allow for more of a resort-only vacation. And I don't know. I just think that I'm a firm believer that in any crisis there are opportunities. There are opportunities to look at how you do business differently. There are opportunities to look at how you operate differently. And I wonder if we're not going to see, I just wonder 5 years from now, what are we going to say the impact of COVID-19 was on the experience at Walt Disney World in the long term? I think demand will drive change. I think Disney will figure out ways to create new experiences, new opportunities outside of the theme parks. God knows this is a company that finds every crack and crevice in the sidewalk with which to draw money from. They're very, very good at it. So I just wonder what it's going to look like. What it's going to look like 5 years from now. And I said one more, but okay, one more. What do you think will happen with Jumbo House guests? Have they announced any other hotel cancellations officially? I don't think so. No.
I think they're moving people over to Kidani, if I read correctly.
Everybody's being moved over to Kidani.
Yeah.
If you had a Jumbo House reservation, you're being moved over to Kidani. But in terms of, you see, honestly, great excuse to buy DVC, okay? Because as DVC members, I'm seeing availability like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the availability we're seeing. And, those resorts are remaining open. And I think, now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I believe that the reason the DVC resorts are remaining open has a lot to do with legality of timeshare laws in Florida and what they can. I don't think they can have their property open and restrict access to DVC members from those properties.
I would love to jump in and give you some legality
You can't.
terminology, but I don't have anything on it. I don't know.
Jerry's over here going. I guess I got to watch what I say now too, and actually, so do you, Mister. Paul and I both got our real estate licenses this week, or he got his last week. I got mine on Tuesday. So
nice.
I guess we have to watch now too. But that was my understanding. I've heard that the reason they could not close those if the resort, if Disney was open, those had to be open. That's why you're seeing every DVC resort is accepting reservations.
And that's what makes sense to me. I mean, the moment I saw that I couldn't borrow points from the following year to book a reservation because they were allowing people who had their current points to book and not people that wanted to borrow, that's what clicked in my head. It was like, oh, this must be like a legal reason to why they need to make sure that people are able to use those points that they bought.
Well, look, Paul and I in particular can tell you this from experience that after having gone through the pre-licensing course, the laws in this state about timeshares are ridiculous. Jerry, of course, is a broker's associate.
They're strict. Yeah, they used to be a lot more lenient in the 60s and 70s, but then people got ripped off, so they've really tightened it up for timeshare.
Yeah, it's really protected.
Yeah.
It's a really protected industry here. So, but also going to give a lot of people an opportunity to experience the DVC resorts that maybe never had before. But you don't know. You don't know. I think this at least gives us now dates and specifics. So again, June 22nd, Disney Park Pass, the Disney reservation system to get into the theme parks opens to guests with a Disney Resort hotel reservation and valid theme park admission, including annual passes, linked in My Disney Experience. Everyone with a resort reservation and a ticket must have it linked in My Disney Experience. June 26th, that reservation system will open to annual pass holders. June 28th, that reservation system opens to other existing ticket holders. Also on June 28th, new Disney Resort packages and theme park tickets will be on sale for arrivals in 2021 through September 26th. And then later this summer, based on availability, sales of 2020 tickets and Disney Resort hotel reservations for 2020 will resume. But that's later this summer. So if you are planning a trip to Walt Disney World in 2021 between January and September, you will be able to begin booking those packages on the 28th. And so we'll see how this works. But that, folks, is going to do it for our little impromptu live show. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for being with us, everybody.